Hey guys, I'm the 50s Kid. If you've been following my channel lately, seen the last couple of videos, you will know that I need to rebuild my engine. My cylinder head gasket has failed and or the head's lifted. I've got leakage into each adjacent cylinder. I'm low on compression. I'm at like the bottom of the service limit. So it's just time for, a rebuild, just a nice little refresh. And I thought what I'd do in this video, because I figure you guys are probably wondering why I haven't started this yet. So I wanted to just do a video just to kind of give you an update on where I'm at with the project, what I've been doing, because there are a lot of preparations that have been involved, and I've had to acquire a lot of new tools. There's also a lot of parts, and I've had to sort of save up for this, because it's a big investment, and this time I'm not taking cash from, or I'm not putting it all on credit cards and stuff. This time I'm sort of using the revenue from the channel to fund it and fund the videos, because it's going to be a lot of videos upcoming. So it's just taken me a little while to accumulate all the tools and all that stuff. But what I want to do is I want to give you an overview of how I'm going to do this job and like what videos I'm going to make, because there are different ways you can go about rebuilding your engine. You can pull the whole engine out and put it on a stand and do all the rebuilding there, or you can do it in a different way, which I'm kind of going to do. But anyway, what I want to do in this video is go over the plan, the overall plan, what videos I'm going to make, and then I'm going to show you, I'll give you like the dime store tour of my, my garage here, because I've kind of rearranged things and opened up some more room. And so I'll show you what it looks like now. And I will then show you all the tools and parts that I've bought so far and talk about which ones I still need to get. Anyway, let's get started. So I figure not all of you are going to need to pull your whole engine out if you want to repair your head gasket. I mean, the only reason I'm actually pulling the engine out is because I want to install new piston rings on the pistons. If I didn't need to do that, I would just leave the whole engine in the car, and I would just pull the head off while the engine's in the car. So I figure I can give you guys the best of both worlds. I can go ahead and show you how to pull the cylinder head off while the engine's still in the car, and then after I do that, I can then pull the block out by itself, do all the rehab on it, do all the videos on it, reinstall the block to the car, and then continue with reinstalling, putting a new head gasket on, reinstalling the freshly machined cylinder head, and putting it all back together. So that's the route that I'm going to do. This way you guys can pick and choose which videos will apply to you. Some of you only want to do a head gasket, so you can just watch all the videos relating to the head gasket, skip all the bottom end stuff, and then come back and finish up with the rest of the top end stuff. So that's the way we're going to do it. And I basically kind of laid out just the broad strokes of what videos I'm going to make. I think there might be more, there might be less. Anyway, there will be a video on removing the exhaust manifold. It's particularly difficult. I think this honestly will be the most difficult part of the entire job, because there's not a lot of room where the exhaust manifolds are on the side there. They're just right up against the leg on the car. So that's going to be challenging. It's going to be particularly challenging to film. But that will be the first video. Next, I will do the timing chain components, and this is actually more than that. This is also the Vanos components. This is going to be where I will remove the Vanos components and get it down to the point where the timing chain is off of the camshafts and the sprockets are off, such that you can then remove the camshafts if you want to, and or you can remove the head if you want to. And I'm also going to show in that same video, or in the very next video, how to reinstall the timing components, the Vanos components. That way you don't have to wait till the whole end of the video series to see how to do that if you just want to do your cylinder head. So I'll be doing that. It'll be a removal and reinstall of the timing components, timing chain, so on and so forth, the Vanos components. Then I will do a video on how to remove the camshafts, because the camshafts are hollow. You have to remove them in a special way, otherwise they could crack. So I'll show you how to remove the camshafts, and then I'll also show you how to reinstall them so that you're not waiting on that. Then we will go ahead and do a cylinder head removal video. I'll cover any miscellaneous things that I need to remove in order to get that done. Obviously, you might notice what's missing is the intake manifold video, because I've already done that. You guys know I already have an intake manifold removal video, so we're skipping that, but obviously you would need to do that. So yeah, cylinder head removal, it'll just be, you know, most importantly, I will be retorquing all of the head bolts so that I can find out if any of the threads have been stripped out of the block. That's really important. There's a BMW service bulletin which recommends that you loosen your bolts and you retorque them to factory specs before you go ahead and proceed. And of course, they recommend, if the threads are pulled, to replace the block, but you don't need to do that. You can repair it with a product called a time cert, which if I do need to repair threads, I will be installing time certs on all 10 of the head bolts. But anyway, that'll be the cylinder head video. And then we'll move right along into cleaning the block surface and cleaning the cylinder head. And so that'll just probably be, you know, its own little video right there. At that point, I will go ahead and remove the block. The nice thing is that there's actually a little, like a little hole or a hook surface on the timing cover, as well as the back of the engine, so that you can hook up an engine hoist chain and just remove the block. So you can, you know, there's also a hook on the top of on the front of the cylinder head, and then you would just use the same hook on the back of the block. That's how you would pull the whole engine out. And if you just want to remove the bottom end, BMW has given you the option to do that. So that's really nice, and that's particularly why I'm doing it this way, because it's quite easy, and I won't have to use a seat belt to kind of wrap around it and stuff. So that'll be pretty cool. Let's see. Next, we're gonna do like a video, one or two videos, I don't know how many it'll be, on blueprinting the engine, which is gonna basically be, actually, I think what I've left out here is that I'm gonna have to, you know, do a video on tearing down the engine, removing the pistons, examining them, seeing what everything looks like, how dirty it is, all that stuff. Then we'll move on to the blueprint video, which is where we're gonna measure all the wear that that exists in the block and determine if we are still within the service limit or whether I need to actually get the block remachined. So that'll be a video right there. And then we'll turn back to the cylinder head and we will do some blueprinting on the cylinder head as well. We'll make sure that the valve guides aren't, you know, excessively worn, things like that. And we'll get into valve lapping, which is basically, you know, I'm gonna do my own valve job, provided that I can do my own valve job and, you know, nothing's actually damaged and or needs to be replaced. Hopefully, you know, the valve guides haven't come out of place, haven't dropped, things like that. So hopefully I can just do a nice little valve lapping video and recondition the cylinder head to go in. And also I'll be measuring the cylinder head for wear, of course. And, you know, if it actually has warped, I'll go ahead and send it to the machine shop, get that taken care of. And that, I probably won't be able to shoot a video on that because I don't have a relationship with a machine shop yet, but possibly, maybe. So then we will move in. I'll do a video on deglaze honing the cylinders with a dingleberry hone, also called a flex hone. I'll show you what that looks like in a bit. Then there'll be a video on installing new bearings and reinstalling the crankshaft, because I'm going to be putting new bearings in all the way around. Bearings and piston rings are wear items, and that's what you replace when you do an engine rebuild. Then we'll be, you know, re-ringing the pistons and reinstalling them. That might be in the same video, just depends on how long, you know, that whole process is. And then we will reinstall the block to the car. Then we'll reinstall the head to the block, and you'll already know how to time everything and all that stuff. And then I'll just install the exhaust manifold, and that should be it. So, big job. A lot of videos. It's gonna be a good series. Probably gonna take a long time. Oh well. Luckily, I actually have a car. I'm probably gonna be borrowing the minivan that I usually work on. So, hey, it's nice to have friends, right? Anyway, that's it for the plan. Let's go ahead and take a look at the shop, see what it looks like now, and then I'll show you what the tools look like and the parts. So this is what it looks like standing behind me. This is like a view you guys never really get to see. I'm always standing there in front of the car, and that's what the lights look like. They're just like El Cheapo lights. They're just giant compact fluorescents that, you know, like use 100 watts. You know, they work well enough. This is the view from the other angle. So as you can see, I now have an engine hoist, which I'm borrowing from a friend, which actually is not in great shape. Apparently, this is not the original ram that came with it. That ram, like, I guess he bought this at an auction and it didn't have a ram. That's why it was for sale. So he put his own ram on there, and that ram is not actually, it's not fastened to this plate at all. He was kind of using some screws here to press it down, and he's just using a bungee to hold it in place, which is super sketchy. So I don't know, I think I'm gonna probably try to drill a hole through here and through the plate and maybe put some bolts in there. I don't know if there's enough room, but one bolt is better than nothing at all, I think. So yeah, engine hoist. He's used it to lift some engines out, so I guess it is somewhat safe. Hey. Yeah, so here is a Harbor Freight engine stand that I haven't put together yet. It is, it's a half-ton. It's the cheap one, and yes, I know it sucks, but you know what? People have used it to put together engines that are a lot bigger and heavier than mine, so whatever. I'm only going to use it for this one time, and I will just make do with it. This area here where my planer usually is, it's a nice long tool bench. Nice thing is it folds up, so I don't know, I might be getting rid of this and cleaning up this area just so I can, probably so I have room to put the camera while I'm doing the engine hoist thing. So let's see what else. All the wood there, too much wood. Over here is where, see, that toolbox actually used to be right here in front of this. This is the background for it, right? And that router and the little stand that it's on was back behind there. And my table saw was actually right here out in the open where, you know, it needs to be if you're doing woodworking stuff, but now obviously I've tucked it back there. I've also, the jointer was there and I've actually moved it over here. I want to get rid of it and or like break it down and kind of put it away. I think I can just break the stand down, you know, maybe tuck it down under here because there's actually a lot of room under there. There's more room than it looks like. Let's see, I'm probably going to keep this table because I'm getting a parts washer. I'm not going to get the giant like 20-gallon one because honestly 20 gallons of cleaner, it, you know, costs a lot of money, and I don't think I'm going to be using it that often to justify that. So I'm going to get a little tabletop one that's like a 5-gallon one, and that's a little bit more manageable. So I think I'm going to keep this table to put the parts washer on top of. And here is the workbench that I've always had. I've got another one that folds up, which is kind of a nice one that I built a while ago. Let's see what else. I do have a drill press, which I'm going to use if the block needs to be repaired, if the threads in the block need to be repaired. There is another video on YouTube already on doing that, and the guy used a drill press, and that looked like the most easiest, cheapest way to go. So that's what I'm going to be doing if I need to do that. Let's see what else. I guess that's pretty much it as far as the workshop tour goes. Hope, you know, now I've got a lot more room. Before I had really no room to work or stand at all. If I ever had friends in here hanging out, there was just, you know, it was it was like a galley kitchen. It really sucked. But obviously you guys can see that my garage it's not just a one-car garage. It actually is a two-car garage, 2 cars in tandem. So there is a lot more room than it seems. So yeah, I've got a lot of room to move the engine crane back. I've got room to have the engine stand right here. I can work on the engine, and should have enough room to film it and all that stuff. Okay guys, I'm gonna have to end this video right here. It's just getting a little bit too long, I think. So tomorrow I'll release the second part on the parts and tools that you're gonna need to do an engine rebuild. Please like and subscribe. I am the 50s Kid. Thanks a lot for watching.